To set up your own React playground, we'll use npm to install React, Browserify to bundle React, Watchify to bundle every time we see a file change, and 625ify so that it can transform the JSX and ES6 features, which you'll probably want to play with, into ES5 JavaScript. Then we'll just say save dev and let that run. Once that's done, we'll have a bunch of node modules in our project, and I'm going to go ahead and create an HTML file. Let's call it index, and create a new file in a source directory called app.jsx, and hit OK. So with this app.jsx file, we can start watching for the file changes and bundling it up and transforming it into the output file that we want. So I'll go ahead and say watchify, transform using 625ify, meaning pass all that JSX and ES6 stuff through this transformation, using our source/app.jsx file and output to a dist/bundle.js file. And I like to say -v for verbose, which will log out every time the file changes. I like to see that that's working. I'll go ahead and hit enter. You'll see that we get our first error, just meaning that the dist folder isn't created. So I'll go ahead and do that, directory dist. And once I run this again, hit enter, you'll see that it has written a new file, which is bundled up some of that basic Browserify code right now. So to see if this is working, we'll go ahead and require React. So say var React equals require React, and then React create class, render, and I'll use the ES6 syntax for this. And you'll see in WebStorm right now, since I began typing, that there's some red code here and it's throwing some errors. To fix this, you go into your WebStorm preferences and you go down to languages, JavaScript, and set it to JSX Harmony. Then those errors will go away because Harmony is for the ES6 stuff and the JSX is for JSX, obviously. So reformat this, and now we can return an H1 that says hello world. Now once I hit save, you'll see that it writes out all the changes to my bundle file, and we'll go ahead and create an app from this, which we can use to React render app, and we'll place that in the document get element by ID, and we'll create something called example. So if we switch over to our index file and load our script here, so we're going to load the bundle file and then create a div called example, hit save. You can see that if we open this file in Chrome, it will render out hello world for us. We can change this to make sure it's working, and we'll say hello working, hit save, the file updated here, and refresh, and it says hello working. Now because I might want to share this with someone else, I'm going to copy this command that we ran, and I'm going to say npm init, and this is going to create a package JSON file, so I'll just accept all the defaults. And once our package JSON file is created, you can see it has all those dependencies we already installed. And I'm going to set up a script called watch. So now that we have the same command as an npm script this time, we can simply say npm run watch, hit enter, and it's sitting there and watching for any sort of change. Hit save. You'll see it's writing out the file, hit refresh, and everything's working. Now, if you want to share your project with someone else, we'll go ahead and create a new README. Just say npm install and npm run watch, and that's all they need to do to get it installed and running. Then since we want to keep this dist folder, but we don't want to keep this in version control, we'll create a file called gitignore. And we want to ignore all of the files in this folder, but we don't want to ignore the gitignore file itself. This way it'll keep this folder but ignore any files in it. And then we'll create a git ignore file on the root of our project, git ignore, and ignore a hidden folder called idea and node modules. And that should be good enough for our needs, because you never want to check in your node modules, and you usually don't want to check in this configuration for WebStorm or whatever tool you're using. So WebStorm has a built-in thing called share project on GitHub. I already configured my account, so I just have to enter my password. Then we'll just keep the repo name as react-playground. I'm going to ignore the description, hit share. It will ask me which files I want to commit, or basically which I want to do a git add on. And you can see it's already ignoring the files that I specified, the node modules and everything. And this looks right, so I'll just hit OK. Then once I hop over to GitHub, and under my account, under repositories, you can see I have a React Playground where I could just send someone this link. They could clone it, run npm install, run npm run watch, and they'd have this playground up and running for themselves.